Sir, is my voice audible?
Yeah. Good morning, Shankar.
Good morning, sir. Sir, did you call GFP, sir?
No, sir, I'm going to call now.
Hello, Dr. Sharath. Good morning. Am I audible, Dr. Sharath?
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning.
So I'm audible, right? No problem.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. You are audible, sir. Sir, we will wait for a couple of minutes as the participants are joining now.
Yeah, sure. Here also few students, they will come and join. Some students offline also they will join. Here in our digital library, this is created actually. Created. So I thought of rather than sitting in my cabin and giving the talk, instead of that, thought of using this digital library.
Okay, sir. Sankar, sir? Yeah. Sir, am I audible? Sankar, sir?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Sir.
Yeah.
You are audible.
Sir, shall we proceed, sir? Shall we proceed?
Start, sir, yes.
Okay. I welcome all the participants first and foremost on behalf of NIT Andhra Pradesh Institute Innovation Council Cell. I'm very much grateful to Professor Arun Kumar Islu for kindly accepting our invitation and accept our invitation to deliver the talk on this forum. So before I take this opportunity before to all the in front of all the participants to introduce the forum basically, which has been the initiation which has been taken from the ministry. So in the year 2018, the Ministry of Education through its Innovation Council cell launched the Institution Innovation Council program in collaboration with the IICTE for higher educational institutes to systematically foster the culture of innovation and startup ecosystems in educational institutes. So primarily this ICC's role to engage large number of faculties, student and staff in various innovation and entrepreneurship related activities such as ideation, problem solving, proof of concept development, design thinking, IPR, project handling and management at the pre-incubation and incubation stage, so that the innovation and this entrepreneurship ecosystems get established and stabilized in this higher educational institutes. So as a part of this initiation and of this program of the ministry, we are organizing a lecture session on accelerators, incubation, opportunities for students and faculties, early stage entrepreneurs. So before I take an opportunity and introduce our distinguished speaker of this session, I invite our Associate Dean, Research and Consultancy, to please give the overview of NIT Andhra Pradesh. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Sure. So, is it audible, sir?
Yeah. Audible, sir. Audible.
Yeah. So, good morning, all the participants. The coordinator, Sharat Trivedi. Today's speaker, Arun Mohar Slur. Myself, Shankar Pedapati. I am happy to introduce about NIT Andhra Pradesh. NIT Andhra Pradesh is the 31st institution among the chain of NITs established by Government of India. It is a centrally funded technical institute and recognized the Institute of National Importance. The institution is located in Tadepalligudem town in West Godavari district on Chennai-Kolkata National Highway. It started the academic sessions from 2015 and currently 10 departments in the institutes are offering 8 BTech, 8 MTech and 13 PhD and 5 MS courses. The main objective of this growing institution is to integrate teaching, learning and training, research and innovation and skill development with an aspiration to excel in undergraduate, integrated postgraduate and doctoral programs. We have received impressive plans for faculty research from reputed agencies like DST, DSAR, IIC, etc. So we are working hard to promote excellence in research and innovation through quality education to our society. In a short span of 5 years, the institute has established a good infrastructure in its permanent campus and grown to prominence at various levels through the achievements made by students and faculty. The campus presently accommodates almost 3,000 students. Now NIT Andhra Pradesh campus received platinum rating by the Indian Green Building Council. So with this short brief, I thank the coordinator for giving me an opportunity. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Sandhya, for giving a brief introduction about our institute. Now it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker of this session, Professor Arun Kumar Islur, to this august audience. Professor Islur has received his master's degree in applied chemistry in the year 1998 from the Mangalore University, Karnataka, and obtained his PhD degree in medicinal chemistry in 2002 from the same university. So during 2005 to 7, he was a postdoctoral scientist working in the field of membrane technology and at the Israel Institute of Technology, Haifa, Israel. Later, Professor Islur has joined NIT Surathkal as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry in the year 2018, and he has also served as the head of the department in chemistry until August 2021. Currently, Professor Islur is working as a professor and serving as a professor in charge of NIT Surathkal Science and Technology Entrepreneurs Park. And Professor Islur, he has a vast teaching experience of 18 years, and his research interests include membrane technology, medicinal chemistry, organic electronics, nanomaterials, X-ray crystallographic, organic synthesis, etc. He has published several papers around 217 international journals, 70 plus conferences, and his research is highly impactful, and that is pretty much evident with the number of citations which he has received so far. As on 5th of July 2022, he has 6,930 citations in his record. Professor Islur has published three books in the international journal, namely Elsewhere and in international publisher, namely Elsewhere and Transtech. His research group includes 17 students has received their PhD so far, and currently 7 are working with him. He has visited several foreign universities, to name a few: Technical Israel University, Institute of Technology, Israel, University of Science, Malaysia, University of Technology, Malaysia, University of Waterloo, Canada, University of Toronto, Canada, and he has received several awards so far and recognition, which includes he has received top 2% of scientists at the world level as surveyed by Stanford University in October 2021. Professor Islu also received a Best Teacher Award, second position in science by the Institution Academy Sthan in the year 2021. He has also received Sir C.V. Raman Young Scientist State Award in Chemical Science on August 6, 2018. He has also been awarded by the Center of Excellence Award in Membrane Research by Government of Karnataka in 2014. He is also one among the researchers in India as per the Scopus survey held during March 2014. Sir has received Certificate of Excellence in Reviewing from European Journal of Medicinal Chemistry for the year 2013. He has also received the Best Research Paper Award for the year 2011 from Vision Group on Science and Technology. He has received a Young Scientist Award from the Board of Research in Nuclear Science from the DAE, Department of Atomic Energy, from Government of India in the year 2009. So with this brief introduction, I request Professor Islu to deliver the talk and shower his knowledge on all of us. The forum is yours, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sharat Ji. I hope I am audible to you.
Yes, sir, but your voice is a little bit slow, sir.
Is it okay? Hello?
Yeah.
Is it fine?
Yeah, perfectly fine, sir. Perfectly fine.
Just a minute. Hello? It's fine, right?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Let me share the slides. Yeah. First of all, let me thank Dr. Sharat Dwivedi and the Director in charge of NIT Andhra Pradesh, Professor Pramod Padoliji and his team for this kind invitation. Let me give my brief introduction about the Science Technology Entrepreneurs Park in NITK Suratkal. So the contents of my talk is it's about creativity, innovation, startups, as well as accelerators, as well as the role of incubators in academia. Let me once again acknowledge Dr. Sharat Ji at NIT Andhra Pradesh Institute of Innovation Cell, then Director of NITK Suratkal for wholehearted support and encouragement, and also my thanks goes to Department of Atomic Energy, Board for Research in Nuclear Sciences, Government of India, DRDO, Government of India, Department of Information Technology, Government of India, Ministry of Mining, Government of India, Vision Group on Science and Technology from Government of Karnataka for their generous funding support. So because of such a generous funding, we could did some research, and the publications part is mainly because of the generous funding by the institutes as well as these funding agencies. And of course, all my former group members who have given a lot of contribution in terms of the research. Let me start with this particular saying. I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. This is by Thomas Alva Edison. Whenever you get an opportunity to read his biography, please go through his biography. He's the only person in the world to get about 1096 US patents. 1096 US patents have been granted in the name of Thomas Alva Edison. And in fact, he was a school dropout. He was removed out from the school at the age of 5 or 6 at a very young age, he was removed from the school because of his hyperactivity, and then he was involved with the lot of creative work as well as the innovations, and then as a result of his contribution, he could got about 1096 US patents. Among that, one of the invention was the electric bulb. So when he developed the electric bulb, about 10,000 plus experiments were he was not successful. So only after completion of about approximately about 10,000 plus experiment, only after that once fine day the bulb started glowing. So that time he gave his quote, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." So in your maybe the academia or in your curriculum, in any way, give your maximum efforts and continue your efforts until you succeed. Let me give a brief 2-3 couple of minutes introduction about NITK STEP. STEP refers to Science Technology Entrepreneur Park. So this is located in the NITK western side campus of the NITK Surathkal, and it was established during the year 1994, and with the support from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. And during 2006 onwards, we became a center of self-sustain, and we have about 15,000 plus square feet of area, and about so far we have successfully incubated 83 startups have been successfully incubated, and as of now we have 19 startups where 13 startups are belonging to the surrounding regions of the Mangalore, and about 6 startups are from the faculties of NITK. And this is the same thing, about 12 incubators and 5 incubators, and then supported more than 80 startups. And the vision of our NITK staff is entrepreneurship development through the business incubation, innovation, training and skill enhancement in a value-driven and science environment and service-focused environment, targeting benefits to all the participating agencies. And our goals is to create healthy startup units through the business incubation, to capitalize on the intellectual base at the technology institution to develop the competitive business units, to grow the spirit of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial thinking at academia and in the region through promotion of entrepreneurship development programs and faculty development programs, and to create the healthy collaboration among technologists, entrepreneurs and financiaries for the mutual gains. So these are the goals of NITK STEP. And of course, we have a dedicated space we are also providing to the students of NITK for their startups activities. So these are the startups. These are the few startups which are currently incubated in NITK STEP. And the business incubation. So we as an incubation center. So our NITK STEP is mainly the incubation center. So as an incubation center, we offer following services to the all our incubators or to the startups. The first is evaluation of their business idea and development of the business concept. We also assist them in product development support, and then the infrastructure support for startup units to test and validate the products as well as the service concept. And also we'll assist them in patent filing support, the entrepreneurial training, mentoring and the business formation, and the target market identification and entry support, and the seed capital support on based on the availability of fund. Seed capital also will fund the our incubators. So these are the main services of our NITK incubation center, that is NITK STEP. Let me start with this particular quote. The vulnerability, this is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and the change. This is by Professor Brain Brown. She did the PhD in the field of vulnerability as well as the innovation. So this is as well as the creativity. And according to one more professor, the Peter Drucker, according to him, 70% of all organizational change efforts which will fail. That means only about 30% of whatever changes are offered, only they will be successful. That means the culture eats the strategy for the breakfast. So this is by Professor Peter Drucker. Let me first focus on first a few slides. It's about the innovation and what sort of the atmosphere to be there in the academic institutions or in the universities to initiate the innovative activities, as well as then at the later stage, I'll move to the about the incubators or about the startups and what are the requirements for the startups and few of the startup suggestions or the startup ideas for the particularly for the students. Of course, the term the creativity, innovation, and the startup these things goes together. It has to go together. So the term innovation. So before that, let me highlight what is the difference in the creativity and the innovation. So in case of the creativity, it's nothing but it is just an idea. Creativity is just an idea, and converting that creativity or whatever the idea is there, that idea into some product or some, it may be the, it need not be the product, it can be a new type of the service oriented also. So that is nothing but the innovation. Of course, we can define it in a different way. The innovation, we can define it in different way. One is the innovation is about process and the relationships comprehensively and equitably focused on the understanding the problems and issues of the stakeholders, then designing the solutions and testing them with an eye on learning and adoption, and once sufficiently tested, implementing and evaluating the solution before scaling it up. That's nothing but, so first of all, we have to, as an innovator, we need to look at our society or our surrounding place, just find out what are the problems or what are the difficulties which are faced by the our surrounding people or our society, and then with the knowledge of your maybe the research background or with the whatever the creative idea which you have, so with that you try to come out with a solution, design a solution, and after designing the solution, then you work on that particular design so that, or that particular creative idea, work out on that one. That is nothing but the experimental part, and then successfully you come out with the whatever the solution for that. And finally, once you come out with the solution, that the solution need not be there at the just at the laboratory level. So it has to reach to the society. That means only through the commercialization. So to make it commercialized, then the role of the startups, which is very, very important. So innovation, it's not an innovation until it is implemented and actually works. I'll repeat again, it's not an innovation until it is implemented and actually work. So we might have done some research work and we might have filed the patent or we might have published the research paper, but ultimately it is until it is not reaches our society, that is not the innovation. So it should reach the common public or our society. Then only we can call it as it's a innovation. Of course, this is another way of another definition for the innovation. The technological innovations are defined as new products and processes and major technological modifications
to products and processes. And innovation is considered performed if it is introduced to the market, which is nothing but which is called as specifically as a product innovation, or implemented in the production process, that is nothing but the process innovation, or the innovation includes many research, technological, organizational, financial and commercial activities. So it is purely the interdisciplinary. It is not only just the involvement of the science and technology. Of course, in the innovation to make the innovation to reach our society or to the public, definitely there is the financial as well as the commercial activities through the startups or through the incubations. That is very much essential. So in my presentation, mainly I'll be highlighting in academic institutions or in the universities, what sort of atmosphere to be there and in what way we can promote the startups, particularly by the students as well as the faculties. And for your kind information, during the year 2019, the National Innovation Policy for the Startups, NIPS 2019, probably I hope that your IIC might have adopted already. In NITK step, this has been already adopted. That is the NIPS Policy 2019, National Innovation Policy for the Startups of particularly this NIPS policy is particularly for the students and the faculty startups. It is not for the common people or the outside educational institution people, but it is specifically for the students as well as the faculty startups. So this policy, it is a highly encouraging. There are a lot of encouraging points where through which the institute also can assist the students as well as the faculties to actively involve in the skill development and then the innovative innovations, the research activities, and not only that, to come out with the startups and commercializing the product. So thereby, institute as well as the students or the faculty members who are involved in these startup activities, so they can also earn some revenue generation. The innovation process, first of all, as I mentioned earlier, first we need to find out what is the problems which are faced by our surrounding community or our surrounding society. First, find out what are the seek problems to the solve, and then go on expeditions. Then after that, you design or refine the potential solution. That is through the creativity, through the creative ideas. So you design in what way this particular problem it can be solved, and then work out on that. That is nothing but the experimental part. Just conducting 1 or 2 experiment or 3 experiment, that is not sufficient, because to commercialize any product, you need to carry out series of experiment. So experiment more and more experiment, then operationalize, and then finally you can scale it up. Then you can enter into the commercialization. So these are the 3 steps, that is the explore, try and do it. So these are the 3 innovation processes. Many times when I interacted with the students as well or with the faculty members, I have asked why we don't innovate. Here also a lot of students are here. Why we don't innovate. So these are some of the few of the responses which I have received from the students or the faculty members of different organizations, including many other different organizations also. So one is we don't have the time or the money to waste on unproven ideas. So many people, they have given a few people, they gave this answer. We don't have the time. I don't have the time, or even I don't want to spend unnecessarily to waste any of the unproven ideas. Then some people with the second response, that is why to take risk? Why risk it when we are doing fine? So many of us, as a faculty member or a students or as a researcher also. So you may think that I'm doing well, I'm doing extremely good in the academics or as in my professional career, I'm doing good. Then why I have to go for why I have to do the innovations? Then some people with this reason also, I can't innovate with those marketing bohemians in the room. Bohemians in the sense it is something like it's an attractive skill or something like that. So that is the response by a few people. Why did an innovation work? We did an workshop on the innovation. However, nothing has happened. So this is generally by in many of the faculties in different universities when I have interacted. So they said, yes, sir, we have conducted many of the workshop related to the innovations or the entrepreneurs or the startups or the incubations, but so far nothing has happened. So this should not happen, and I'm sure under the dynamic leadership of Dr. Sharad Dwivedi ji. So next year the NIT Andhra Pradesh will come out with the from either from the students or the faculty members few of the innovative products. I'm sure, because many times what happens in the academic institutions and the universities, we conduct the workshop or the conferences or the seminars and all, but once we go out of this or after hearing these seminars or the conferences or the workshop, then they will not show any interest. So continue in the field of the innovation, there are a lot of opportunities. Then some people with this response also, sure, I want to, but my job performance is based on current norms and the operations. So that is the response by few people. And some people even with this response, what's the point? Our CEO will just do what he wants anyway. So that is clearly nothing but the sort of a bossism by the these are the things which are possible in the some companies straight away in the because I used to interact even with the other startup companies or with the incubators in the other institutions also. So some of the innovators or the employees of some industries, so they gave this type of the response. My manager wants it, but her response to my idea is always A, but it ends with a but. Please remember, whenever there is a but, so that is like a trying to give a pause. Always there should not be the term the but. Okay. Then what is commercialization? So this is nothing but commercialization. This is the process by which a new product or service is introduced into the general market. So please remember, the commercialization, it need not be only the product, but it can be the service also. I'll give some example. For instance, the Amazon. Probably there may not be anyone in this audience group who have not heard or who have not purchased any items from the Amazon. So every item A to Z, so they have more than 1 million of products in their Amazon website, more than 1 million, more than 10 lakhs products you can find out. But how many of you are aware that Amazon is not manufacturing even a single product? So they are offering this service. So it is a service oriented, it's a commercialized innovation in the field of the service. Or many of throughout the globe, the Uber taxi is available, Uber or the other. Uber is throughout the globally, it is available, Uber taxi. They also have the in their chain taxi chain more than 1 million taxis only in India. But they are not owning a single Uber taxi. It is purely the service oriented. So different type of the apps through which you can give the service offering. So that is the commercialization. It need not be only the product, but it also can be the services, as I mentioned, like Amazon or the Uber or any other through the app. Then commercialization is broken into phases from the initial introduction of the product through its mass production and the adoption. It takes into account the production, distribution, marketing, sales, and customer support required to achieve the commercial success. So it needs all these things: the production capacity and the distribution, then the marketing, then the sales and the customer. So these are all the parts of the success of the any commercial activities. And as a strategy, the commercialization, it requires that a business develop marketing plan, determine how the product will supply to the market, and anticipate the barriers to the success. What are the benefits of the commercialization? So these are the only purely with respect to the society and from the academic institute wise, only those benefits only I have restricted the benefits. So one is the societal benefit. So spanning across areas such as healthcare or the environmental or the wellness, fitness, education, industrial applications, and simply the day-to-day life, innovation resulting from the university research are most impactful when they are in the hands of those who can benefit from them most. And overall, the societal benefit is the key driver behind the commercializing the new inventions. And also, the economic growth of any nation, it is by the commercialization of the product. The taking innovations to the market through the commercialization also provides an economic benefit. Whether it be through the licensing of technology to other companies, or through the development of new startup companies, or commercialization provides new revenue generation and job creation, locally the job creation, or the regionally and potential across the globe. So suppose an university or an academic institution, if they came out with some product, so they need not do the mass production or the large scale manufacturing of those type of the product, but that can be the technology transfer through the as per the institute policy. Every institute or the university will be having their own policies. So as per the policies of the institute or through the university, that can be sold to the other companies, or a new startup company can be created at the academic institute itself. So thereby the institute also can get some revenue generation, and also the faculty members or the inventor or the researcher or the student who are participated in that innovation, so they also can earn the revenue generation. In the subsequent slides, I will give some entrepreneurs also as an examples, who have globally renowned entrepreneurs also I will be giving at the later stage. Then also the recruitment and retention, the successful commercialization of the innovation, which results in positive publicity and also generate the awareness of the research. So that is the another advantage to the academic institutions. The moment when we come out with the innovative products or commercialized product, so it will be an advertisement, or it will be among the public, it will be very positive about they will think very positively about that institutes in the even in the ranking framework also, where also the commercialization of the product, that also directly helps the institute, academic institute. And also it generates awareness of the research, the inventions, and the entrepreneurial culture in the university, culture of the university. You might have heard about MIT, that is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It was started during the 19th century. And the major objective, main goal of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology is revenue generation. And for your kind information, it is a private institution. But they are in the #1 position. They are in the #1 position. So they are, most of the faculties as well as the students of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, so they are directly involved with the industries. They are directly involved with through the consultancy or through the innovative products and the commercialization or through these startup activities, and whatever the entire revenue which is required for the MIT, that will be generated by the only through these activities. So I hope this culture is slowly entered in India. Of course, in the next coming years, all these academic institutions, including the NITs, IITs, and the other universities also, they will focus more on the creative, the innovation, as well as the startup activities, so that the revenue generation for the institutes as well as the participating people. Then, of course, the entrepreneurship also. By having this another advantage, by having a focus on entrepreneurship and commercialization, both faculty and staff can get exposure to the business community, which can be beneficial in multiple ways. So students will come to know at the during the their study itself. During the study itself, they'll come to know what is the industrial environment, what is the business community, what the business community expects. So these things they'll get an exposure during their bachelor's or during the master's or during the PhD research itself. And bridging the academia as well as the industry, that also can result in increased knowledge of the business sector, the career development opportunities, and the investor relations. Then the commercialization can take several shapes, from licensing a technology to an established company or entrepreneur, to creating a startup company from the ground up, and then learn more about how your innovation can get to the market. So the creating, so what are the typical atmosphere which is required for creating the culture of innovation? Let us focus on these aspects. The foundational context, that is the mission, the vision and the mission of the academic institution. So that has to act like a catalyst for to do the innovation and the entrepreneurial activities. So every institute, they have their own vision and mission statement. So if all the faculties and all the students and all the employees of that particular academic institution, if they go as per the vision statement and the mission statement of their institution, then achieving the more and more innovative products by or developing the commercialized product, that will not be difficult. So mainly about the vision and the mission statements, and following those very strictly. So that is the foundational context for this particular environment. Then of course, what does trust look like in an innovative culture? So the 5 alphabet word trust. So this is also very important. So among the entire community of the institute, whether it may be between the students and the faculties, or between the students or between the researcher or faculties, so they should have the trust. So only by the trusting, this will be more successful. The innovations will be more successful. And also there should be the supporting environment which can support particularly the students to think in the creative manner, or in the innovative, doing some innovative work. In that way, the environment should support. Know how? Then do we know how to innovate in our organization? So again, with the continuation of the previous only, the commitment. This is very important. The commitment. Please remember, while doing any innovations, or while doing any such startup activities, so the commitment should be there. It is not only just a 9 to 5 job, or just like for the students, the classes may be from 9 to 4 or 9 to 3 or 9 to 5. It is not like that. So that should be the commitment. So you should be ready to commit for even maybe more than 12 hours per day, maybe sometime. So it is very much required for the successful successfully completing the to come out with some commercialized product. So commitment is also equally important. Then the collaboration. One of the greatest advantage in the academic institution is there is a multidisciplinary facilities which are available, multidisciplinary faculties or the departments are there. So that will be a blessing for the students. Suppose if you develop some product, it may be from the chemistry, but when the large scale manufacturing or when it comes to the scaling up, so there is need of the chemical engineers or the mechanical engineers, or maybe some automation you want to do in your product. It may be from the any other domain, but there again for the automation you need the help of the maybe from the computer science or from maybe from the other disciplines. So such a cross collaboration is there in the any academic institution. So this will be a blessing for the particularly for the students to initiate the research activities or to come out with the commercialized product. So risk and fail, definitely one has to ready with of course in any field there is a risk. Risk is always involved in any of you start any venture, risk is involved. There is no any venture or nothing which is free from the risk. So always there is a fear of the failure, but that will be if once you failed in your venture, don't worry, you again just I gave that is the reason I gave in the beginning. I gave this slide of Thomas Alva Edison. So he was removed out from the school, and also while doing the while developing the electric bulb, he did about 10,000 plus experiments which were failed initially, but he continued his efforts. So that is the risk and the failure. Always you should be ready to take this. What are the characteristics of successful innovation companies? The same thing in the academic institution also. One is the systematic collection of all impulses that could lead to the innovation, the creativity of the employees or the students, the ability to evaluate the possibility of the innovation idea. Of course, good teamwork which is required in to start any of the venture, the project-based approach and the ability to manage the projects, the cooperation with the external experts, that is with the either with the other universities or with the other departments which is within the same institute or the research laboratories, the proper rate of risk taking already I have mentioned, the employees motivation, the employees are willing to improve the product and the operation of the whole company, the continued education of the employees or the students. So that is what the NEP, the new education policy, NEP 2020. So it gives an opportunity to the students to take a break in between your semester, maybe after first semester or second semester or third semester, whenever you want, you can take a break, and then if this type of innovative or commercial ideas or commercialization or startup activities are there, so you have the opportunity to continue your education at the latest stage. That is what the NEP has been implemented. And the ability to finance the innovation activities, definitely for the financing initially you may have to approach the incubators or the accelerators. I will come to those incubators and accelerators and the difference at the later stage. And of course, the Startup India or the Startup Karnataka and every startup of from the government of every government, so they have their own startup policies. So through them also there will be seed capital or even the MSME, micro, small, medium enterprises from the government of India. So they also provide the fundings. So ability to finance the innovation activities. Let me skip this particular slide. It's about the types of the innovation. So the innovation process, the research and development. then the production and the marketing. And the innovation is an opportunity for something new and it is different. New as well as different. It is always based on the change. And as I mentioned earlier, when any organizational changes or when they are implemented, 70% is not going to be successful. Only about 30% are going to be successful on an average. Innovators do not view any change as a threat, but as an opportunity. So, as students or as a faculty members or as a researchers, if you feel that any threat or any sort of the obstacles, so don't take that as a threat or as an obstacle or it is preventing you, but take that obstacle as an opportunity. I'll come to this again later with some example. The COVID, for example, the COVID during the March 2020. In our country, there was not a single company who are manufacturing the PPE kits. But within 2 months, that means the complete lockdown, nationwide lockdown was announced on the March 20th. And then within 2 months, by April or by month of the May, many of the companies, they could came out with the manufacturing of the PPE kits, as well as even within less than a year, even our Indian companies also, the pharma companies, they are also came out with the vaccines. So that was a threat actually, the atmosphere, that is the atmosphere of the COVID-19, the lockdown. These were actually kind of a threat or a kind of an obstacle, but successfully the Indian scientists as well as the many of the companies, so they converted that one into as an opportunity. Then always one need to be focused, the operational output, the top quality products and the perfect knowledge of the customers. Some recommendations, solve the correct problem correctly. Solve the correct problem correctly, be effective and efficient. Then manage the innovation as a project. So as a students community, you do the project with a great seriousness, with a full involvement. In the similar way, whenever the innovative research or the innovative work or any commercializing ideas, so those things also you need to take a very seriously, just like a project. And of course, analyze the risk, use the models, scenarios, computer simulation. The study examples of successful and more importantly unsuccessful innovation projects. So of course you need to study the successful stories, but at the same time give more importance, I'm again stressing it, give more importance to study the unsuccessful innovation projects or the unsuccessful stories. Because when you read more such unsuccessful stories or unsuccessful innovation project, you will come to know that you can analyze why the previous company or why the previous innovator, why their project was failed. And you can avoid doing such type of the mistake, and that will be again helpful to you. What to do? Start with the analysis and study of opportunities. Go among the people, ask questions and listen. So always listen to the people first of all and keep on asking the question. Listen and keep on asking the questions. So for everything, why? Analyze. It may be in your classroom, or it may be in the market, or it may be in the anywhere. So always analyze in that particular way. Analyze. And your observation also, that is also very important. Ask the questions. Keep on asking the question. They may think you as a mad. Okay? But don't worry, that is going to help you. Effective innovations are surprisingly simple. They must be focused on specific needs and on specific final products. Effective innovations start on a small scale. A successful innovation always try to win a leading position. Otherwise, you create opportunities for your competitors. Let me give one real story about I mentioned here the second point, go among the people, ask question and listen. Let me give one, let us come out from this and I'll narrate a small real story. Two brothers were there. One is elder brother and younger brother. They are almost with the similar qualification. And they joined a small company. Same day they joined the company at the same salary. Long back, very long back this was. And then within few months, the elder brother, he got many promotions. His salary also got multiples, higher salary. Whereas the younger brother's salary, it remained the same. He was only at the his starting salary, he was at the same level. The elder brother was he went on every month, he was, his salary was increasing. Then, usually such things, it creates a sort of an frustration among us. Then the same thing has happened with this younger brother also. He also got frustrated. Then one day he goes to his boss and then he renders his resignation letter. He gives his resignation letter and then boss immediately asks him, why you want to leave this organization? Then he'll say, boss, myself and my elder brother, we are with the same qualification background. We joined your company on the same day and every day we are coming to the organization same time because they were staying together in the same room. We were coming same time and we are going together also. He is not working any extra timing but he has been given many promotions and his salary also much higher than me. So I want to leave this company. Then the boss says, okay, I'll give you one final task. So he'll say, you go to the market and just find out who is selling the watermelons. During those days, now it is, of course, the watermelon, it is available throughout all the season, but during those days, it is a purely seasonal fruit. Okay, he says, okay, boss, he'll go to the market and he comes back exactly by 1 hour. Exactly by 1 hour, he comes back and he says, boss, in the market, only one person at the corner of this street, only one person is selling the watermelons and he's having 450 numbers of watermelons and he's selling at the rate of 3 rupees per kg. That's all his report. Then the boss says, okay, very good. Then he says, he asked him to sit there in his cabin, in his chamber. And he calls the elder brother. He called the elder brother and he will ask the same question. He'll give the same task. Just go to the market and find out who is selling the watermelons. So this guy, elder brother, goes to the market exactly the same time. 1 hour, he comes back and he reports to the boss. Boss, at the corner of this street, one person by name Ramaya, he is selling the watermelons. And these are purely organically cultivated watermelons, which is procuring from about 90 kilometers from this city. And he's having 450 watermelons. Out of 450 watermelons, 300 watermelons of average weight of 6 kg. And about 150 watermelons, the average weight of less than 3 kg. And he's selling at the rate of 3 rupees per kg. And he has the option of cutting he can cut the watermelon and also he can sell it. In that case, he is selling at the rate of 3 rupees 50 paisa. And the next week, as there is going to be one large mela, the mela is a gathering of the people. There's going to be a large mela and it is going to be peak of the summer and the availability of the watermelons in the market is very less. So in view of that, the price maybe in the next week, it may go to up to 5 rupees also. And the last 3 years, the price of the watermelon was maximum of 2 rupees 50 paisa per kg during the season. However, now this is this year, due to the scarcity, the price is going to be much higher. And if we want all the 450 watermelons, he is ready to sell at the rate of 2 rupee 25 paisa. If you give me some more few more minutes, I can get the statistics of the last 10 years. What is the price of the watermelon? So this is the presentation by the elder brother. So now you tell me, you want to become the elder brother or the younger brother? Huh? So that is only by the asking the question by the keen observation. So elder brother, for your kind information, is Mukesh Ambani, younger is the Anil Ambani. So you may be knowing the company, the profitability of that company. Okay, so I just gave I narrated a true story just for the benefit of the students. I hope this might have inspired you. So keep asking the questions and then keep observing the things in our surroundings. What to avoid? Always try to avoid don't try to be too clever. The term TOO, that is always somewhat dangerous. So try to avoid too clever, and then don't try to do too many things at the same time or at once. Focus on the core of the problem. Don't try to make innovations for the future, but do the innovations for today. For today, what is the requirement? Do the innovation. But the impact of this, your today's innovation, it may definitely last for the longer term. So don't think that I want to do something, some product for the, it will be helpful after 15 years. But come out with the product or the innovations for today, what is our society requires. So do that one, and definitely its impact will be there for next 15, 20, 25 years or even more than that. 3 conditions for the innovation. Let me just skip this one. Some innovative products I'll be just highlighting here. After that, I'll be focusing on the startups and the accelerators. Environlu, so this was actually developed by the recently. This was developed by the South African scientists. So this is an environmental friendly toilet. So these already about 60,000 such toilets which have been installed in the South Africa. In the public toilets. So each public toilet which was consuming about 5.5 lakhs liters of water per annum. Now, because of this, the water consumption has been greatly reduced to hardly 2%. If the regular toilets requires 100 liters of water, these toilet hardly 2 liters of water, which is per day consumption. And also not only that, it is completely the solar operated. There is a provision for separating the automatic separation of the solid waste as well as the liquid waste, that is nothing but the urine. And because of the solar radiation, the urine will be converted into the water will be evaporated, and it forms the urea. So again, that is a product. And on the other side, the solid waste which is generated, that because of the excreta which undergoes the aerobic decomposition, it produces a very good fertilizer, and entire thing is operated by the solar. So that is the Environlu. It is a commercially already the product. Already 60,000 has been such a type of the design. Think in the our surrounding public, in the society. These are very much essential. So you can change the design. You are all, most of you are with the engineering or with the science background. So you can think of some creativity. This type of this is one such. I felt it's a very interesting this Environlu. This is again initially this was developed for life straw. The name of the product, it is available in the Amazon. If you want, you can try even in this way also. It's just a pipe. It purifies the water. It purifies the microbes to the extent of 99.99%. In the YouTube, you can just put the live straw. Even in the advertisement, he will directly immerse it in the toilet, and then of course our research is also, we are also focusing on this type of developing it's purely based on the hollow fiber membranes. It was initially developed for the US Army people. Now it is already commercialized in the market. So this is the solar sphere, or developed by the Germany, or it's like a solar cooker. Even in the India market, you can procure it. It costs about 3.5 lakhs or something like that. So the solar radiations, which will be focused at a one focal point, and it is a highly shiny surface. It is not a mirror. Mirror will be expensive in that case. It is just a kind of an aluminum foil or the stainless steel foil. The solar radiations, which will be focused in a one particular focal point, and with the help of the sensor, according to the movement or the rotation movement of the sunlight radiation, accordingly this also get moves or the rotates. Or this is the mobile solar kiosk in Africa. It is very popular. It is again a small kiosk or a small cart on the rooftop. There is a solar panel, and at a time as many as 80 mobile phones can be charged. So they'll charge some 50 cents or 100 cents or some for 1 hour charging or like that. Even there is a storage of battery storage, so that during the night time also such a solar kiosk which will be functioning. So these type of for the students in the technical education institution, ample of opportunities to only thing you have to think first you come out with the ideas and then try to work out on that and with the products. So Invi bracelet. So this is another bracelet. You might have heard about the pepper sprays. This is not the pepper spray, but something like that. This bracelet, even men's also can wear this. It's not only for the ladies. So whenever in the emergency, when you are in any emergency or when you have to when you are encountered by any people in the some remote area, just release that Invi bracelet. The immediately some kind of a gas which will be get sprayed on the opponent person, and then you'll get few seconds time to escape from the such culprit people. And within a few seconds, the smell of that gas, it will spread in up to zone of about 100 meters, so that the people will get aware that something has happened. So this is another simple example. The science is converted into a product, right? The seawater greenhouse. This is in actually Israel, where the seawater which will be pumped and which will be converted into fresh water, and the condensed that is the design in the right side. That is a design. It is in the, these are installed in the completely in the deserts. So in that way, that see the technology, there is a entry of the hot dry air, and there is a in the phase 2 the condensation of the humid hot air over the cold pipes, and thereby the saline water, it gets converted into the fresh water, or the water get condenses. So that will be used for the greenhouses in the agriculture. Let me for the I think another 15-20 minutes I'll be focused on the entrepreneurship and the startups. Can anyone from the participant, can you just let me know what is the difference in the, what is meant by entrepreneurship? I'll first give the option to the online participants, and then if no one answers, then I'll ask for the offline participants. What is entrepreneurship? Or what is is it a business? Entrepreneurship, do you think is a business? It's a small scale business. One of the participant here, she gave the response as a small scale business. But to be frank with you, there is a lot of difference between the entrepreneurship and the business. They're not the same. They're the different. Maybe the ultimate aim may be the same, but actually, strictly speaking, business and the entrepreneurship, they are the different thing. I'll give it one example only. Example that will be more clear to you. Now, this is the season of the mangoes. It's the mango season here. I think in Andhra also this is the season of mango. Here in the market, some vendor, some shop keeping person, So they will purchase the mangoes at a rate of 80 rupees per kg, or per mango about 10 rupees per mango, and then they are selling in their shop at the rate of 15 rupees or 12 or 15 rupees. Suppose 10 rupees he is purchasing from the wholesale market and 15 rupees he is selling in the retail market. So what he gets? How much he gets? 5 rupees per mango, right? This is the one case. And in the second case, another person, what he is doing is, he is buying the mangoes from the same shop in the wholesale market at the rate of 10 rupees. But he is not directly selling the mangoes, but he'll make the juice or the mango shake, and he is selling the mango shake at the rate of 30 rupees or 40 rupees or 50 rupees. Same mango, he is not selling the mango, but he is converting that one into mango shake or the juice, and then he is selling at 50 rupees. Both are earning the profit. Both are. But the difference here is, in the case of the business, it is straight away. There is nothing. There is no any innovations, no any creativity. Nothing is involved in the business. You are bringing something and selling it. You are getting some profit. But in the case of the entrepreneurship, it involves some process. That making of juice or making of it may be Mamidi Tandra. I'm sure in the Andhra it is. I think it's correct. Am I right? Mamidi Tandra. That mango jelly, Mamidi Tandra. So that involves a process, and because of this particular, by undergoing such one or two step or process, or maybe the multiple step process, there will be increase of the price in the product, increase in the price of the product. So potato you'll get in the market for 30 rupees per kg, and for the one packet of potato chips, the Lays, 100 grams, it is costing 40 rupees or 50 rupees. How many potatoes are required? Only 2 potatoes for making that. So that is the process. So in the entrepreneurship, such process which is involved, some innovation is involved, some creativity is involved. Whereas in the business, there is no such thing. And also, more importantly, when these entrepreneurship activities are done, so during this entrepreneurship activities, you will also give job opportunities. You'll give jobs to the other people. So that is the entrepreneurship. But in case of business, no such type of the active. So that is the clear difference between the business and entrepreneurship. I just wanted to give with this example. And of course, with the startups also, I'll be focusing on the startups. So let us just come out again from the startups and the entrepreneurship. The inspiration. So for every one of us, the nature is the inspiration. I can say the nature is inspiration. Everything, you get inspiration from the nature. Look at this bird. This is not a normal bird. This is a bird called Godwit bird. Godwit. Godwit bird. You can just later, you can Google it, Godwit bird. So this bird, the speciality of this seabird, the speciality is that it covers a distance of from Alaska to New Zealand. Both are the two different nations. From the Alaska to New Zealand, the distance is 12,200 kilometers across the ocean. And the distance of this 12,200 kilometers from Alaska to the New Zealand, that is separated by the ocean, is covered by this bird in about 9 or 10 days. And during this journey from Alaska to New Zealand, it is not taking break for even for a second. It continuously flying. It cannot eat also, because it is an ocean, so it may die. So it cannot take a rest for a single second. Is there any machine or any flight? Even for the flight also, it needs refueling. So this is the inspiration, right? On the second side, on the right hand side, one more picture. So this is a weaver's bird. So this bird, the weaver's bird, it enters from the bottom. It takes an entire round inside that the bulky region, and then it comes out. So who had taught that weaver's bird to build such a beautiful nest? right? So that is again inspiration for us. So many, you look at the nature, that itself is a inspiration from which we can get lot of inspiration to do the innovations. Okay, now let me give the definition. I have clearly gave the difference between business and entrepreneurship. So an entrepreneur entrepreneur is individual who creates a new business, bearing most of the risk and enjoying most of the rewards. I have already mentioned the risk is there in everything. Bearing most of the risk and enjoying most of the rewards. And process of setting up a business is known as entrepreneurship. The entrepreneur is commonly seen as an innovator, a source of new ideas, goods, or it may be the services and businesses or procedures. So the innovation could be even in the form of the services. That's what in the beginning I mentioned about either Amazon or the Uber taxi or any app basis. Or we can also define in this way the activity of setting up a business or businesses taking on financial risk in the hope of the profit. Definitely, there is nothing wrong in hoping for the profit. Every one of us will do for the profit only. There is nothing wrong in that. And I'll highlight first of all the principles which are highly encouraging to all of us. It need not be to the entrepreneurs, but to all of us, these are highly encouraging. The Ambani's principles, or these are by Dhirubhai Ambani, who is the founder of Reliance India company. First one is don't give up. Under any circumstances, don't give up. Always think big, think fast, think ahead, and ideas are no one's monopoly. If you are born poor, it's not your fault, but if you die poor, then definitely it's your fault. If you work with the determination and with perfection, always success will follow. If you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to help to build their dreams. Meeting the deadline is not good enough, but beating the deadlines is my expectation. Just to see this one, this has to be written in the golden letters. Meeting the deadline is not good enough, beating the deadline. So that is the important. Pursue your goals even in the face of difficulties. Already I have mentioned the difficulties, obstacles. So convert those difficulties or the obstacles or the adversities into opportunities. Growth has no limit. Keep revising your vision. Only when you dream, you can do it. And our dreams have to be bigger, our ambitions to be higher, our commitment to be deeper, and our efforts are to be greater. So these are the principles by a great entrepreneur of the globe, Sri Ambani ji. The Thomas Edison. Let me give some 4-5 slides about 3-4 slides about great entrepreneurs. I hope this will be motivational to all the participants. The Thomas Edison, already mentioned, he was removed from the school during the age of 5 or 6 age. At the age of 6, at a very young age, he lost his father. He was removed from the school, and at the age of 12, he developed the hearing problem. He was not able to hear at the age of 12. And as he got older, Edison believed his hearing loss allowed him to avoid the distraction and to concentrate more easily on his work. See, that was a completely obstacle, right? He took it in a positive way. So he always, otherwise the people will start commenting, oh, he's like that, he's like that. Okay, at least if I cannot hear anything, so I can work with the full motivation. So that is what. Don't worry, always, dear participants, any such comments by the people, don't worry. As long as you are working with your satisfaction, then nothing to worry. He began his career by selling the candy, newspapers, vegetables on the trains, and then he was removed out from the school. He did his schooling. His mother was his first teacher, and then later, after his that time there was a arrangement so that only during the examination you can go to the school and you can write the masters in physics, and then he became a He was an innovator, and then he became an entrepreneur. And in his name, 1093 US patents in his name. Another great from our India only, the Karsanbhai Patelji. I think there may not be anyone who had not heard about the Nirma brand. So during the 60s, that time only the monopoly of the detergent powder was, it was a multinational brand, Hindustan Lever. It's a multinational. Now also it is there, but with the different, the product is different, but the same. That time they are selling only with the normal surf, and they were selling that time the price of the during 60s, the price of the detergent powder was 6 rupees per kg. So the Karsanbhai Patelji, he completed his BSc with the chemistry during 66, and then he joined one mining company, and every day he was going to that mining company on his cycle about 12 kilometers, which was far from his village. And then he thought, why not something alternate to the already available expensive detergent powder? So with the knowledge of his chemistry, he came out with his own formulation, and that too he had not made any big industry or anything. In his room itself, with the room of small 10 by 12 in his house, there itself he developed that formulation. And every day while going to the that mining company, he used to carry about 15 bags, 1 kg bags, 15 numbers, and he used to give the nearby shops or the houses. Every day he used to give. That's how the Nirma company has started. So now this company has directly employed more than 25,000 people, and indirectly few lakhs people have been directly associated with this. So this is one of the Indian another. And then again the great the Biocon company by Kiran Majumdar Shah, Dr. Kiran Majumdar Shah. So after completion of her master's as well as PhD in the field of biochemistry, particularly in the enzyme she worked, once she came back to India during the 78, and then her total saving was about rupees 10,000 rupees. Total saving was rupees 10,000 rupees, and then but she wanted to do her own business, her own industry. She wanted to start, even though during those times the 10,000 rupees it was but it was not sufficient amount to start a company or something like that. So she hired a garage on the Electronic City, outskirt of Bangalore, where on the Hosur Road, she hired a garage, and her first official or unofficial employers, the owner of that garage himself. That person, due to some reason, he closed the garage, and he gave it for the rent, and he became her employee. So they started collecting initially the enzymes, the papaya enzyme, from the papaya, unripe papaya. If you make some small incision, it gives the latex. So it contains an enzyme called pepine. So they started collecting the pepine enzyme in the surrounding agriculture region, and from that the pepine they used to isolate with the knowledge of the biochemistry or whatever with her knowledge, and then they started exporting that. So that was the initial business. So now it is multi-billion dollar business, this particular company. And then again another great entrepreneur, world's youngest billionaire, Mark Zuckerberg, who is the founder of Facebook company. So he's now 37-year-old, I guess, 37-year-old. Yeah. So he was actually in Harvard. He was doing his engineering program in the Harvard, and in the hostel or in the dormitories, in the hostel, he developed an app where the names and the photographs of all his friends. So they just like the register book in any hostel. In that he developed it, and within 15-20 days he became very popular in the entire Harvard during his those college days. And then he realized the potential in that one, and then in between he left the college or the Harvard. You see, the entering in the Harvard itself is that will be a great challenge, but he skipped that, and then he continued with this one. So during the, as of March or April 2022, he was the world's fifth richest person. So now he's because of the changed some economical conditions in the global level, this ranking has been slightly slightly the ranking has been moved. But he was, as of up to April month, he was the April 2022, he was the world's fifth richest person. His assets worth 123 billion US dollars. So see here, that is what now with the NEP. So if you are coming out with some products, some commercial, or if you felt that you want to take a break after after a break of 2 or 3 semester or 4 semester. So means you want to focus on the your startup company activities. So with in the NEP there is a provision. So you can take a break, continue with your company activities, startup activities. You come back after 1 year or 2 year or as per the policy, and then continue your education. That is possible. Yeah. Sorry. This Startup India, I'll try to wind up in 5 minutes. Startup India, this program, this was action plan. This was launched by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji on 16th January 2016 to bring all stakeholders to common platform, to value proposition for the stakeholders, the major objectives, the connect with the global ecosystem, to stimulate others, that is the students, faculties, and the other industrial people to join in this particular ecosystem, and access to information and the knowledge, and handholding and supporting the these new companies. So with that, these objectives, the Startup India Action Plan was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister. Now, how to, after in previous many slides, many times I have used the word startup. How to define a startup? So, as per Government of India, of course, in different countries they have the different criteria. But as per the Government of India, the definition of the startup is any company in terms of less than 10 years of age. Not only this, it should fulfill the other criteria: less than 10 years of age from its incorporation, 10 years for the biotech, and the 7 years for any other companies, including the software. Then it should be either registered either as a private limited company, or as a limited liability partnership, or as a partnership. So this registration has to be done with the Ministry of Commerce. And then another requirement is the turnover of that particular company or that business organization should not be exceed 100 crores in a financial year. And then that company or that organization that should be involved in some innovative type, or that is nothing but developing the new or improving the existing product or the services which are offering. So if these 4 criteria are satisfied, then that is nothing but that is the startup as per the Government of India definition. Now, in academic institutions, the incubators are there. That is what either in our STEP is it's an incubation center, or I think the IICs at the NIT Andhra Pradesh also. I hope they are also doing the incubation related activities. Nothing but incubators. Now let us see how to. What are the procedure to register a company, startup company? The first thing is the nature of the your startup company, proposed startup company, that has to be well defined, and it should be uploaded along with the other supporting documents as required by the Ministry of Commerce. And for doing all these things, we the incubators, either at NIT step or at IIC Council at Andhra Pradesh, NIT Andhra Pradesh. So as a incubators, we'll assist the students or the faculty members or any other entrepreneurs who are interested to start the startup activities, how to register. So these are the, what are the checklists which are required. So we'll assist in that way. And then once these applications are submitted online, then this will be evaluated by the Ministry of Commerce from their different sections. It will be evaluated, and within about 3 to 4 working days. So they will, if there is any suggestions, any changes or any queries are there, they are coming up with that, or within 3 to 4 working days, your company will be registered. See, now the advantage with the new government, I mean with the 2014, after the new government, within 1 week, less than 1 week, the startup companies can be registered. So this is the greatest advantage. And the funding, don't think that if you want to start a startup company, huge funding is required. No, it is less than 10,000 rupees, just 10,000 rupees, less than 10,000 rupees, which is required for the registering a startup company. And of course, you can always seek the funding from the either from the MSME or from the Startup India, or through the Startup Karnataka, or with the respective state governments, or even from the accelerators also. In the next slide, I'll focus later about the accelerator. Just let me. Why we need the startups in academia? Dr. Sharadji, how long I can continue?
Sir, you can take another 5-10 minutes.
Another 5 minutes, I'll wind up in 5 minutes. Why need the startups in academia? Because the academic institutions these are the multidisciplinary hubs. Then the more rooms for the risk taking by the students, because you can take the more risk here, because we as a mentors, as a faculty members will be there. We'll mentor you, or the incubation centers will be there. So we'll help you. So you can take the more risk in the academic institution. Then cross-campus collaboration, you can with the different department, different facilities are available. You can make use of those things. Hands-on experimental programs. If you want to do some experiments, so it is possible in the academic institutions. Dedicated workspace. That's what the incubation centers. We can provide the dedicated workspace for your startup activities. Mentorship programs also, the mutual benefits, and the revenue resources to the academic institutions as well as the participants in the future too. Just the few ideas for the students. These are the huge demand, just in a very simple way. The nanotechnology, maybe developing the nano materials for the chemistry, chemical engineering people. It's a very easy. The process involved is a very simple for the most of the nano materials development. But when it comes to the market, you can sell, multiply by whatever your cost of production, even many of the nanoparticles which are available in the market, multiply by 500 rupees, multiply by 500. If the involved cost is 100 rupees, multiply by 500, that means 5,000 rupees, or such a great rate these things are commercialized. So the nanotechnology, or in the field of the biotechnology, or even in the management field, so varieties of the different apps, or the e-learning platform, or the home care industries, or even in the agriculture base, or in the aquaculture base, you can apply either through the service oriented startups in these particular domains, or with you can come out with your own other innovative products also. Let me just give the difference between the incubators and the accelerators. So incubators, first of all, it is generally in the government institutions. These are the incubators. So ours is the incubators. Whereas the accelerators are generally, they are in the private or the public limited, and accelerators are funded by an existing company, whereas the incubators are often independent but can have connections to venture the capital firms of the funds or the universities.
And generally the incubators, we help at the initial level, not a already existing company. So it is not coming under the purview of the incubators, but the accelerators, they are generally nurturing even a existing company. So that is another major difference. Accelerators are aimed at accelerating the companies and scaling them up. Incubators focus primarily on stimulating the innovations. For accelerators, a clearly delineated time frame, will be there. Say 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, or 2 year, like that. But incubators are generally the long term. Generally in NIT case step, we incubate generally up to 3 years. But if required, we can even up to 5 years also, we can incubate them. In many instances, even taking years, and are more open-ended. Accelerators have much more structured program than the incubators, and try to create a kind of alignment between the startups. Incubators are more focused on the creating an environment for the co-creation. Yeah, this was the last slide. So it was my proud privilege to get honored by then Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka during the August 2018, and also it was an honor to be with Professor Bharat Ratna Professor C.N. Rao, part of sharing this picture. So thank you once again to Dr. Sharat ji as well as his team for giving this opportunity. So over to Dr. Sharat. With your permission, if there is any time for the discussion, with your permission, because I have already exceeded the time. Now it's with you.
Thank you, Professor Islu, for such an insightful talk. You have covered almost all aspects of the topic, basically innovations, creativity, creative ideas, entrepreneurship, accelerators, incubators, and I strongly believe that this talk will certainly benefit all the participants, and in particular our students, to channelize their innovative ideas, to convert this into the commercialize their product, and finally for the societal benefit. You have also highlighted the risk and failure, which is always associated with the ideas, and highlighted that with the persistent commitment and the patience, one can overcome of that issue. So, Professor, we have few queries from our participant side. So the first one is basically from Mr. Chandu. His question is, sir, how do we convert a thought into commercial service or through science?
A thought into?
Commercial service through science.
That means there is nothing but the creativity into a commercialized, right?
Yeah.
So this part already I have described in the beginning only. First thing is the creativity. That means you find out what is first of all the problem. It may be to the local fishermen, they may be, or any other community or our society. First find out what are the problems, and then come out with a creative idea. So first of all, idea you should get. So for that you may have to do sometimes the literatures or the reading of some books or which may be required. Okay, so come out with the idea, and once the idea is there, then you try to convert that idea into some innovation. That is nothing but only by working out on, by doing the experiments, or by repeatedly working on that particular, converting the idea into a product or a service. So once it is done, once the innovative product is there, then if you are a student, then you can through your institute, there will be the incubation center. Through them you can go for the commercialization of your product. I hope I have answered Mr. Chandu.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, we have another query from Mr. Satish. His question is, what is a perfect successful definition of entrepreneur in your way?
Definition for?
Of entrepreneur.
Yeah, entrepreneur already I have given it. So it is nothing but doing some by taking the risk, doing some business, and at the same time during this business process some innovation to be involved, and at the same time some job creation. So these 4 points to be there. So the something innovation should be there. It is not the existing same business. Suppose if my father is running one business, continuing with the same business, that is not the entrepreneurship. But you can use some modern technologies or through some apps. So you are converting that one into some process involved kind of a business, process involved business. So during this process involvement, you will give the jobs to the few people. So this is the simple definition I think I can give. I have given it in two different ways, the earlier slides also.
Another query is there from Mr. Dinan. He's asking that as a student just completing my course, if I plan to start up as soon as I complete my education, how do I manage my finances to fund my startup and personal day-to-day expenses?
Currently, you are in which semester? Has he mentioned?
No, sir.
So he suppose if he is the student is in the final year or something like us assume that if the student is in the final year. Okay, so let him come out with the first. If he had already developed some product, some innovative product already he had developed, he can approach your incubation center, through which he can do. If not, if he has already completed or at the verge of completion of his study, independently also he need not take any incubation center, but straight away also he can start a startup company. It is not mandatory that he has to always get attached with the incubation center of the institute. Even outside also the candidate can perform. But the main advantage for the students, suppose if the students they are in the in between of their educational curriculum, in such case they can get a break. That is clearly mentioned in the NISP policy 2019, where the students can, if they are not in the final year, but they are suppose in the initial stage of their education or in the middle of their particular course, then there is a there is a mention of this point in the NISP policy that they can get a break 1 year, and that's what the NEP also given this particular guideline. And then the another advantage is in many of the institutions there is a mandatory of 75 or 80% of the attendance. Suppose if the students are involved in, as per the NISP policy, I am talking about this as per the NISP policy. According to that, if the students, if they are involved in some startup policy, in the startup activities in the institute, and if they are not able to get 75 due to the startup activities, some of the classes or laboratory sessions which they miss, then as per the NISP policy, the institute can consider them even for taking the examination. So only this will be applicable only for the students who are involved in the startup activity. And the funding part also, suppose if your incubation center, that is your IIC of your institute, you need to apply for the funding from the Dr. Sharad, you received any funding from the either from the DSP or Startup India, any grant as an incubation center?
No, sir. No.
Okay, so yearly there will be call from the DSP as well as from the Startup India and also even from the MSME. So as a incubation center, first you need to get some funding. So if you get some funding, then the students or the faculties, those who are in your incubation center as a incubators or as a startup companies of the students or the faculty. So in some transparent way, you can distribute the funding, like a seed grant of 5 lakhs to the company or 10 lakhs, or based on how much funding you have received, in a transparent way that can be distributed. Or they can directly apply to the MSME and also they can get the funding. I hope I have answered his query.
So the final question. It is from Mr. Sandeep. What is fetching for a person if he chooses entrepreneurship than doing a job? Because if he put his work in a job rather than a startup, he would be stable in many terms like economical, mental, and many.
Can you please repeat the question?
This question is that what is fetching for a person if he chooses entrepreneurship than doing a job? Because if he put his work in a job rather than a startup, he would be stable in many terms like economic, mental, and many.
Yeah, of course. In any job, there will be always, it's like a 9 to 5, 9 to 5, or some restricted time, and also the whatever the their earning, or maybe the I can say earning only, or whatever the salary. There is a limitation for that. But by entering in the entrepreneurship, sky is the limit. It is the sky is the limit, because I have given already some 4 or 5 very successful entrepreneurs, globally reputed entrepreneurs already have given. It is just like a sky is the limit. So more you involve in your entrepreneurial activity, so your profitability of your startup will be more and more. Whereas in the job, it is not like that. There is a certain criteria or certain range will be there. Only you will be up to your earning will be only up to that range. But with the entrepreneurial activities, you can offer jobs. You himself can offer the jobs to the many people, hundreds of people, or even thousands of people, just like the Facebook company. So that is what. So it is the sky is the limit in the entrepreneurship. But here, it is a purely limited within certain boundary. So you cannot go beyond that boundary. That is what in the restrictions in the job.
Thank you, sir. Now I take this opportunity to invite Dr. Sudarshana Deepa, Associate Dean, Innovation, Incubation and Startup Policy and Affairs, NIT Andhra Pradesh, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Sharad Dwivedi, sir. As good things come to an end in life, so is the lecture session. On behalf of Institutions Innovation Council of NIT Andhra Pradesh, I take this opportunity to propose the oath of thanks to who have directly and indirectly contributed to this lecture session on Accelerators, Incubation Opportunities of Students and Faculties, Early Stage Entrepreneurs through this virtual platform. At the outset, I take immense pleasure to thank the speaker of today's event, Professor Arun Mohan Isroor, Professor in Charge, Science and Technology Entrepreneurs Park, NIT Surathkal, for giving an glimpsing lecture of innovation, startup, accelerators in academia, and also sharing some successful innovation stories. At the outset, I am greatly privileged to thank our Honorable Director in Charge, Professor Pramod M. Padol Sir, and Registrar in Charge, Dr. Dinesh P. Shankar Reddy Sir, for providing their everlasting support. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our President, Institution Innovation Council, and Dean RNC, Professor G.R.K. Shastri Sir, for his constant motivation. And very special thanks to the coordinator of the event, Dr. Sharad Dwivedi Sir, member of Institution Innovation Council and Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, for his unflinching support and coordination to arrange this lecture session. Last but not the least, a humble thanks to deans, associate deans, heads, non-teaching staffs, and external participants for their participation. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, I request you to switch on your video and give a round of applause to our speaker of the session, Professor Arun Kumar Islu. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam, and I thank Dr. Sharad as well as entire his team, as well as Professor Pramodji, the Director in charge of NIT Andhra Pradesh, and all the participants for the your kind invitation, as well as patiently hearing. Almost, I think it's more than 1.5 hours. So patiently hearing. Dr. Sharad, you are most welcome to visit NITK Surathkal and particularly the NITK staff. So we are ready to any assistance or any help which you are looking for from our incubation center. You are most welcome.
Thank you, sir. We are basically looking forward to have a close connection with the NITK staff.
Actually, I thought to request the same thing priorly. Like we are initial stage of establishing our startup as well as incubation, sir. Like we invited calls from the students. Dr. Sudarshan Deepa, he was now he has a handover, like in charge of the incubation startups. Very soon we will be contacting you, sir. We need your support, your mentorship.
Sure, sir.
So
no problem.
Thank you very much, sir.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome.
And we some supports like so we have already made some initial drafts, sir. Like we will be communicating to you the draft once some brainstorming we will be doing very soon. We need your help, sir, sustainable help.
Definitely, whatever we know, we don't mind to share from NITK side or NITK steps. So thank you so much for this opportunity. So
Thank you, sir.
We'll be in touch. Thank you.
So with your permission, sir, I would like to conclude this session.
Yeah, thank you. Over to you, Dr. Sharad. Thank you.
Namaste, sir. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, dear participants, we conclude this session here. Thank you all for joining this session and making it a grand success. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, dear participant, please fill the feedback form. And once again, thanks for your participation.